hive I brought back from Stevington Manor. It's got wax moth in it and it needs to be cleaned out before it can be used again. And before we start doing that, I'll just sort of show you something. The hive itself looks very much like the standard hives that people use, and you've probably seen the hives that I use, which are what are called nationals. Now, national hives are thought by some people to be too small, in that the brood box isn't big enough. So they use larger hives, and particularly the American hives are usually a lot bigger than a national hive. This hive, which Chris had, is a step between the two, in that the brood box is bigger than a national brood box, which means there's more space for the queen, and so you can hopefully develop a bigger colony. And to give you an idea of what's going on in there, these are the frames that go in a standard national brood box, and the frames that go in this thing are that big. So you can see that they are quite a bit deeper, although they are the same width. So you actually have more space in here than you'd normally have with a national beehive. So we'll start the process of cleaning this up. Well, firstly, just have a look so that we can hopefully see some of these wax moths that are in the hive. So I'll just shut the camera down and get a bit closer. I've taken the roof off and the crown board, and this is the super, and if you just have a look at that, you can see the sort of damage that they've started to do already. Sorry, that's one of my chickens having a nervous breakdown. There is a moth there, there's one there as well. There's one on that, there's one there as well. They're everywhere. There's another one there, and this is what they do. There it goes, look, running away. So they just start destroying the comb, and there it goes again. It's flown away. There's two there, they're everywhere. So I'm just going to lift the super off. And you can probably see from just the sort of general muck on top of here that it's not very nice. Let's have a look, see. Yeah. Well, yeah, look, there's one there. And this is what they do. Just, those are the pupae in there. And they slowly but surely destroy the frame. Oh golly, look at this one. Crikey. Blimey. There's one there, there's one there, they're everywhere. And if I try and prise these apart, Christ. Look at that. Horrible. Anyway, so that's what we need to deal with. Never seen anything like this, and it's just very horrible. So what we need to do next is to start cleaning up the frames, and we'll come to that in a minute. Next stage of the clean-up process is just to see what we can retrieve from all of this. This is the super. Now the chances are it didn't look too bad, so we'll just have a quick look at the frames. That's great, that's untouched, so these all look okay, all nice and fresh. Foundation has been put in there, and there doesn't seem to be anything worth worrying about. That's a nice one, and that is as well. So all of these frames can be reused again. However, we want to stop wax moth getting into these and all the other supers that are stored. So there's a job that needs to be done next, which is spraying it with a sort of disinfectant type stuff, and we'll do that next. This is the brood box, which is where all the nastiness is going to be. And so we'll just go frame by frame just to see that there is nothing that can be salvaged from this. So that one isn't too bad, so that might be able to be saved. So we'll leave that there. This one, there's a little bit around here, some queen cells here, here and here, but it doesn't look too bad. We could perhaps spray that and keep the foundation. Then it starts getting worse. There's a moth there. And oh no. So they'll all be like this. So they'll all get progressively worse as you get to the inside of the hive. There's one there. So although the wooden frames can be kept and cleaned, the foundation here isn't going to be of any use. So we need to get it out. Foundation, as you see when we replace it, is just a strip sheet rather of wax. It goes in here and has wire in a W shape, and it has little tabs across here, and this bar is then pinned to those tabs to hold it in place. So to get the foundation out, the easiest way of doing it is to wedge the bar away, which can be reused, and that just leaves all the foundation. And get most of it out like that. Then you get down. Oh, blimey! Oh, this is disgusting. Look. How about that? That foundation's too black and horrible to be used, but there's no point in even trying to retrieve any of this. Just to get the old stinky foundation out, which will come away quite easily in this case. Perhaps it won't. So the foundation falls away quite easily, and this one is just as bad. Still quite a few little myths climbing around in here, and these are all of the pupae, so let's get rid of that. This stuff will just get burnt. It's, I'm also doing this just outside the house, as you can probably see, and I'm keeping it well away from the other frames that I've got, which are down the end of the garden, because I don't want the moths to sort of take up residence in the frames that are down there. Okay, nearly done. And there's lots of larvae. Look at them. There's loads of them in there. You see those there? All about to hatch out, or whatever they do. Queen cells on this one. See that? Look, that's just coming out. And that's it. The end one here is what we call a blanking frame, which just fills up the space to make sure that all the frames fit in the box. So that's got all the skankiness out of the way. There is actually one little job I want to do, which I may as well do now. I'm one of the few beekeepers, I think, who actually wants a certain amount of propolis in my hives, because I make propolis tincture out of it and cream as well. So in a small way I harvest some of the propolis that the bees build up inside the hive, and it's this brown stuff here on top. So I haven't done that one for some reason. Yeah, the propolis is this sort of brown stuff on here, or it tends to be along the outside. They seal up the hive with it. So all I'm going to do now is just scrape off the propolis. I've actually run out of the tincture, so I need to make some more. So this will all help. Anyway, so that's I'll carry on doing that, but that's essentially what I'm going to do. Stuff all down here. Once that's been done, the next thing will be to clean the frames up to be reused again. Now the skanky foundation is out of these things, we now need to clean them up a bit further and get all this horrible muck off. So what I will use is this thing. It's got like a claw, which means that it's easier to go down these grooves and get all of the old manky comb that's inside there, and also you can go through this. I also use this thing, which is a small hive tool, but it's very good for doing this. It's got a scraper on that side, got quite a sharp edge there, and that thing there can also do the grooves here to get all the muck out. So I'll get underway. The frames have come up reasonably well. Taken all the wax out of the central track and off the top here, and they don't look too bad. So next stage really is to give them a boil up in this thing, in my Burko, baby Burko. That's a bleach solution, 5% I think it is roughly, and that's just to give the frames a good clean. And what I'll do is, once they've been in there for a little while, I'll take a wire brush to them and just take everything off, and then wash them down with some clean water, and that's nearly it. What I'll do for some of these is I'm going to replace some of the foundation, which I haven't got yet, but that should arrive in the next couple of days. So once that's arrived, we'll just have a quick look, see how that's done. The frames have all been cleaned up now, and at some point I'll put some foundation. The hive itself is going to go back up to Steventon in a couple of days. It's been outdoors obviously quite a while, and so the paintwork is a bit faded, as you can see from this picture. So I've repainted it just to make it look nice. I've also put on here a landing board, which is what it sounds like. Just makes it a bit easier. It's like a helicopter pad. The bees can land on here and walk straight in. This wooden bar across the front here is just something you put in the front of hives at the beginning of winter to stop mice and little animals, little varmints deciding to take up residence in there. The supers here, again, they've been cleaned up, painted. Some of them, some of the frames are actually quite usable. There's no damage to them at all. So these are going to go into storage now for winter. They're not going to be needed until April time. One of the winter jobs that you have to do is actually to spray things for wax moth to stop them taking up residence in the hive or soup or whatever it is. And you use this stuff called Certain, which is C-E-R-T-A-N, and you just spray it with something like this. So you give it a good spray, both sides, and then leave it to dry out. Now, speaking to Chris, whose bees these are, he does something which I've never heard of before. Apparently, wax moth doesn't like the smell or whatever, something of newsprint. So what he does is he puts sheets of newspaper every third frame in there. So if wax moth don't like newsprint, I can think of no more unpleasant newsprint than the Daily Mail, with its usual combination of soft porn and sensationalism. So I expect the wax moth will loathe this. So what I will do is just take a sheet of this stuff, put it in here, I'll cut it to size, and then just pin across the top with drawing pins, and then put it over the back there with the rest of them. So that finally is it, and we have another hive in operation.